William, the German engine division is about to go bankrupt. This was your project. Are you just going to? Nick's voice sounded a bit hesitant. Back in the day, William's development of a car engine doubled the group's profits. But when he was about to be appointed president of the German division, his girlfriend Nina begged him not to leave. So he stayed in M-City. Fine, I'll go, William replied coolly. Nick was first stunned, then thrilled. You finally came around? That's awesome. When you get back, you're sure to get a promotion. Don't worry. Thanks, Nick. After hanging up, William quietly stared at the flickering cake candle. It was already 11 p.m., and Nina still wasn't at the door. Instead, she appeared in her junior Victor's Instagram story. There she was, helping Victor with his studies, their faces so close they almost touched. Her profile showed an unmistakable gentle smile. That photo was like a sharp thorn to William's eyes. William, when you turn 25, let's get engaged. Sure thing. They had made that promise years ago. And today was his 25th birthday. They met at 5 and were childhood sweethearts in everyone's eyes. At 20, she confessed and tearfully said she'd stay with him forever. At 22, she wanted to get her PhD, so he gave up his further studies, started working early just to save up for her tuition. But everything William did seemed never enough. Somehow it was always lacking. Nina now spent more and more time on seminars and papers, distancing herself. Even her last message was a lie from the afternoon. Working on a paper at night. I'll be home later. William chuckled bitterly. Nina had time just for someone else. Oh well. He wanted to see through this birthday, though cold at heart. Lighting the candle, the warm glow reflected in his eyes and firmed his resolve. So many dreams of a future with Nina shattered like bubbles. Watching the candle burn out, he slowly closed his eyes. At 25, leaving Nina, leaving her for good. With that, he blew the candle out. When Nina finally came home, it was past midnight. The night was deep, and when the front door opened, she found William sitting on the couch, silently smoking. The room was tidied up, the cake candle long extinguished. Nina frowned, swapping shoes, casually commented, "Why are you smoking again? Put it out and open a window, it stinks in here. It's your birthday today. I was just too busy. We can celebrate later," she added. William's face in the shadows was calm, but inside he was a swirl of feelings. He exhaled a ring of smoke, voice low. "What were you busy with?" The smoke circled as William's sharp profile cut through the dim light. Nina was stirred but felt a strange distance from him. Guilt flashed through her mind, avoiding William's direct gaze. Rushing through an SCI paper, "My advisor kept me long." "Didn't you see my message?" she said, cool as a cucumber. Hearing her smooth lies, William chuckled softly, crushing the cigarette but with force. He knew this would be her answer, but it still cut somewhere deep inside. As William extinguished the cigarette, Nina sat beside him and changed the subject. "I got you a gift. Open it and see. If you don't like it, we can exchange it." She pulled out a shiny gift box from her bag and nonchalantly picked up a lighter to light another candle. Just then, the phone on the table buzzed. William glanced over. The contact name was Victor. The messages were from her junior. "Did you get home? Thanks a bunch today. Next time, dinner's on me." A romantic one. The texts came with an "I love you" emoji. William's heart ached. He opened the gift box to find a fancy watch, dotted with sapphire blue gems. He'd said many times he didn't like blue, plus it seemed just like the one Victor flaunted online. So, she bought one for him, too? "Thanks," he muttered, casually tossing the watch into the living room drawer. If this had happened before, he would have demanded answers. But now it didn't matter. After being let down so many times, he no longer felt the need to push. Nina didn't notice William's determined eyes and expressionless face suddenly showed a hint of relief. He wanted his wish to come true. Just leave, walk away from it all. He was done with anything to do with her. The cake not even cut, a call came. Nina rushed across, snatching up the phone. "William, my advisor's asking for more revisions again." "Have the cake yourself," she said, shutting the study door behind her with no hesitation. With Victor in the picture, Nina couldn't even keep up appearances anymore. She didn't even bother to ask his birthday wish. Silence fell as William dumped the cake into the trash, heading off for some quiet sleep. The next morning, the house was empty. William just wanted out, packing up to leave for good. Photos from their bedroom, all their mementos, everything came down. The picture Nina gave him when she confessed was tossed into the trash. Then he moved to the study. Inside, books and papers piled high. Picking up an aerospace materials textbook, he saw Victor's name on it. That was William's specialization, miles away from Nina's in semiconductors. He remembered asking her to choose the same as his so he could help her in the future. The other person found aerospace materials too challenging and didn't want to spend time relearning it. Nina, on the other hand, surprised everyone by studying a subject she wasn't good at, just for another guy. Her textbooks were filled with notes, showing how much effort and energy she put into it. Turns out, his dedication back then was nothing but a joke to this junior. William didn't feel much about it. He just put the book back like nothing happened. Then, his phone buzzed with a message from Victor. "Nina's helping me with my studies. Could you bring the book she left at home to the school? By the way, Nina asked me to tell you." William just found the other guy's attitude laughable. 2 sentences were enough to see how much Nina coddled this so-called junior, giving him the audacity. But William had decided to leave, so Nina's affairs were no longer his concern. "No worries, I never said I'd bring it. Tell her to come pick it up herself, I'm busy." With that, he hung up and got back to packing for his trip abroad. Just half an hour passed. Nina stormed through the door, looking a bit angry. "Didn't I tell you I was helping Victor with his studies? You couldn't even bring a book, yet you have time to pack stuff. If you mess up his future, how will you compensate?" At this, William couldn't be bothered to argue. He figured all the effort he'd put into the past now amounted to nothing. Nina seemed to realize she went overboard, apologized quickly, and headed to the study to grab her book. Before she left, she noticed something off. "Why are you packing? Going on a business trip? Throwing them out, don't want them." William answered expressionlessly. Nina seemed like she wanted to say something but didn't and hurriedly shut the door. After tossing away the last photo, William booked a ticket to Europe. Seeing the booking confirmation, he took a deep breath, feeling at ease. Just 1 week, and he could leave for good, disappear from Nina's life. 2 days passed, and William wrapped up his work handover, preparing to contact the aerospace base in Germany. Nina hadn't returned home that night, saying Victor's thesis was urgent, requiring lots of time. She'd be staying at school all week. William didn't press further. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. It was his buddy Mike. William had just told him about the situation yesterday, and here Mike was, all fired up. "You finally came to your senses, man. I can't stand it for you." Mike causally said, "Last time you passed up an opportunity because of Nina. This time, don't give it up." William tapped on his computer and exhaled, not backing out this time. It settled. Mike offered a cigarette, surprised when William took it. William had been smoking since middle school, usually lighting up when sharing secrets, but stopped due to Nina. Realizing, Mike softened his tone. "By the way, did you tell her?" "No need." Mike eyed the bags filled with souvenirs and photos, paused, and then got it. Even if William didn't outright say it, Mike understood all he needed. Seeing him through these years, Mike knew how much William endured. "We've been desk mates since elementary, and I've watched you and Nina's journey. Honestly, you're a great guy, she doesn't deserve you. On your last day, I'll call up all our friends. Let's throw you a farewell party." William stayed silent, just puffing his cigarette. Growing up poor, with a deceased father and a remarrying mother, he longed for a stable family. Gazing around his home, he recalled moving in with Nina, dreaming of the future on that very couch. Sensing the mood, Mike changed the topic. "Look at your luggage. Europe can get freezing and you've barely packed anything warm. Let's go buy some essentials." They picked up various items en route. But when shopping for down jackets, they unexpectedly ran into Nina. She was holding Victor's hand, earnestly helping him pick out a jacket, lovingly zipping it up, a picture-perfect couple. Victor then noticed William, and, astonishingly, touched Nina's cheek, which she didn't shy away from. William's heart chilled a bit. As Nina went to the counter, Victor strode over. "Since you've seen us, I won't hide it," he said with a mocking tone. "I'm officially pursuing Nina. From now on, it's all about who's better. Don't expect me to back off." Hearing this, Mike was ready to pounce, but William stopped him, letting out a chuckle. "Go ahead then. Finding meaning by challenging me? You haven't earned that right." Victor's smug face suddenly hardened. Rumor had it, he knew of William's achievements, and as a fellow student, he wanted to prove superior. "Heh! Know why Nina lost feelings for you? You're too rigid. You have no idea what she wants. She not only likes someone young and in research like me, but also someone romantic." Mike couldn't hold it anymore. He couldn't stand by watching his buddy being provoked like this. He grabbed Victor by the collar. "You can't even match up to my friend, and today could be your tomorrow." Victor, hit where it hurt, didn't react but sneered. "Hit me, I dare you." Mike swung, knocking Victor down. Watching this, William frowned slightly. Not retaliating wasn't typical for this young type. Sure enough, the next moment, he saw Nina rushing over anxiously. She helped Victor up with concern, looking at William with uncontrollable anger. "William, why did you hit him? I'm so disappointed in you." Victor clutched his face, pretending to be upset, and tried to calm things down. "William's probably just jealous. Don't blame him. We have been spending a lot of time together. I told you I wanted to hang out with Victor for a while. How can you be so petty?" Nina checked Victor's injuries, speaking with a voice full of reproach and concern. William saw this and didn't even bother to explain. "You big baby, can you stop pretending? Believe it or not, I'll..." Mike was getting ready to fight, but William tapped his shoulder. "Mike, let's just go." As the two walked away with bags in hand, Nina's anger turned to surprise. "Wait a second. Why did you buy so much? We have blankets at home, don't we? They're all dirty. Need to replace them." William didn't even turn around, his voice carrying an odd chill that made Nina feel uneasy. Suddenly, she noticed his thin clothes, starkly contrasting with Victor's. She panicked a bit. "If you need a down jacket, just ask me. It's not like I won't buy you one. Don't be so stingy. After this week of work, I'll make it up to you with a birthday celebration. Okay?" William didn't respond, just kept walking ahead. 3 days flew by. Nina, as expected, didn't come back or really send any messages. But as soon as she returned, she'd see that William had packed everything for leaving the country, clearing out all traces of him at home. The calendar pages were torn day by day. William sat in a corner of the sofa, silently counting. Time flew by so fast, just 1 day left now. The final night. Mike had organized a farewell party just for William to relax. Walking into the private room, familiar buddies rushed over. "Congrats to William for climbing higher. May your future be bright." Popcorn sprays everywhere, filling the room with a joyous atmosphere. William paused for a moment, then smiled knowingly. With friends like these sending him off, what more could he want? Because he drove there, they decided to just sing and not drink. Just as the excitement peaked, someone suddenly exclaimed, "William, you're heading abroad to be the boss. When are you bringing Nina over? Your girl can't stay away from you, not even during business trips." Mike's face changed hearing this. But before he could stop it, William cut in with a grin. "No need, we're breaking up soon." The room fell silent. Friends were shocked, yet William acted nonchalant. The room door swung open at the worst moment. Nina walked in wearing a white dress, with Victor sticking close beside her. "Why didn't you tell me you were having a make-up birthday party? I brought Victor along so you guys can get along better and avoid misunderstandings." Mike couldn't hold back. "Why did you bring him? We're having this for William." But William jumped in. "It's fine, have a seat." Knew it, William's a forgiving guy. Victor grinned mischievously, tightening his grip on Nina. Time for games. Nina pulled everyone to play, and friends couldn't refuse it. To get back at Victor, they started plotting. But Victor insisted on dragging William along, ordering a drink for him every round. In no time, A row of drinks piled up in front of the two. As everyone cheered, Nina stepped up. Victor's still young and doesn't play like this often. I'll drink for him. She grabbed a glass and downed it. Victor looked at William, with a hint of provocation in his eyes. Nina drank for me, you can't chicken out. Since someone drank for you, I'll have someone drink for me too. Mike looked at Nina with a smirk. You know William drove here, right? Hearing this, Nina's heart skipped. She glanced at William, but seeing his calm expression, she thought she hadn't done anything wrong. I'll play with Victor, William, you rest. The two grew more spirited, laughter filling the room. William sat in a corner, quietly smoking a cigarette. Nina's make-up birthday was just about making him accept Victor. Everything she did was indirectly for Victor's sake. But since he had moved on, he didn't care anymore. William picked up the mic to sing. It was once Nina's favorite song, one they hummed countless times. But she was busy laughing with Victor, not hearing a word. When deep love goes shallow, I awaken, letting go. Nina missed the last lyric. In that moment, it felt like they passed each other by. As the song ended, so did everything else. 1 a.m. The group left KTV, heading for some late-night munchies. But Nina, worried about a drunk Victor, insisted on taking him back to school. Without easy cab access, she asked William to drive them. With headlights shining down the narrow road, William felt a cold breeze and rolled up the window. But suddenly, the ground slipped. The vehicle spun out, crashing toward the roadside. With a loud bam, they collided with a tree, smoke billowing from the hood. When William came to his senses, the car front was twisted. He and Victor, in the passenger seat, were trapped, legs wedged tight. Worse, all controls failed. Front doors and windows were locked shut. Suddenly, in mere seconds, the damaged battery ignited the front in flames. Seeing this, Victor instantly sobered up. He desperately pushed the door, but nothing budged. Ah, help! I don't want to die. William frowned, using his elbow on the window, then grabbed keys to smash the glass. We need more force. Someone has to bang from outside. Hearing that, Nina quickly opened the back door and got outside. Victor followed William's example and started hitting the glass. All three knew the car's on fire at the front and could blow up any moment. If they didn't get people out in time, they'd all be in danger. As the fire grew, Nina hesitated, unsure of which side to hit first. Victor, covered in sweat and fear, shouted desperately, "Hurry! Save me first! Nina! I don't want to die!" Nina looked anxiously at Victor. Just as she was about to run to him, she paused, glancing back at William. William's heart sank. So it's true. In such a life or death moment, does she still hold on to years of feelings? Is her hesitation a sign she might choose him? But in the next second, Nina dashed to the passenger side. "William!" Victor drank. "I'll get him out first. I'll save you right after." Hearing this, William's actions suddenly stopped. Years of emotions surged over him like a flood but vanished quickly. He suddenly laughed. Laughed at himself for taking 20 years to see through someone. Laughed that he still gambled on a chance that didn't exist. William's face showed no expression, moving like a robot. Victor finally smashed the window, a shard cutting his hand. "Victor, you're bleeding. I'll help you stop it right away." Nina, visibly panicking, pulled Victor out with all her might and carried him away. William didn't know how long he was smashing. Some bystanders helped, eventually rescuing him, fortunately with only minor injuries. 2 hours later, the incident was handled. Nina had long taken Victor to the hospital, and William, skipping the car insurance claim, went home to pack his things for a flight. Just 4 more hours till 8 a.m. Enough time for a quick farewell. William sent Nina a message. "Come home. I need to talk to you." But the message disappeared like a stone dropped in the ocean, with no response. An hour passed. 2 hours. Flight reminders came one after another, but Nina's chat window remained empty. William quietly stood up, changed into his newly bought designer suit, bandaged his wound and washed his face. As he was about to leave early, a message came. "Victor's hurt. I'm at the hospital with him. I'll come back later. Once he's settled, I promise to spend time with you. On social media, Victor just had a small cut, yet Nina was busy running around. William suddenly laughed. He didn't hesitate for even half a second, completely deleting Nina's contact. Then he tossed the breakup letter on the coffee table, with only one line on the cover. Nina, we're done. After this, William took one last look at the place, leaving without looking back. Outside the hospital, Nina was bringing breakfast back to the room. Victor, didn't you say you had a stomach problem? I only got some rice porridge. Sorry for the trouble, sis. Not only do you have to take care of me, but also have to settle for porridge. Victor leaned toward Nina unconsciously. By the way, you saved me first last night after the accident. Will William say anything? What could he say? Nina spoke casually. He wasn't drunk. Saving you first was the right thing to do. After all, you're my little brother. Victor, feeling smug but pretending to be concerned, said, the accident was so serious. I'm a bit worried William might be hurt. Maybe you should check on him to prevent any misunderstandings. Hearing that, Nina hesitated. The car accident was really bad last night. She only focused on saving Victor and didn't check on William. She thought about texting to find out, but then reconsidered. If William was hurt too, he'd probably come to the hospital himself. After all, he's 25, not a little boy like Victor. By noon, after finishing up with Victor, she took him back to school. But for some reason, a sense of unease lingered. Felt like ever since William started throwing things, everything began to change. She'd been with Victor these days, so she didn't notice. Come home. I need to talk to you. Looking at the message, Nina rushed home immediately. What did William want to discuss? She tried to find clues in her mind but drew blanks. Going through their chat logs, even Nina found it surprising. They had only a few conversations over a week, each decreasing with time. She finally realized she was clueless about William's current life. The distance between them had grown, leading to almost no conversation. How did it come to this? A chill of foreboding overcame her. Nina suddenly remembered the incident at the mall. Right? William must have seen her with Victor, prompting such a big reaction. But he loves her too much to stay mad over something like that. A simple explanation should appease him. Thinking this, Nina decided to buy a small gift as an apology. She sprinted from the first to the fourth floor and swiftly opened the door. Just as she was ready to offer an excuse, she found nobody home. An eerie silence pierced like a needle, erasing all traces of William, as if he never existed. Nina's hands began to tremble. She quickly reached for her phone. Her messages returned with exclamation marks. The call greeted by an icy automated voice. Summoning strength, she looked toward the sofa, William's favorite spot. Everything seemed as usual. She could almost see him in the corner, putting out a cigarette to welcome her home. However, all vanished in an instant. The ashtray was spotless, only a mess of papers on the coffee table. In a daze, Nina staggered to the table, picked up the long-awaited letter. Those unbearably cold words stabbed into her eyes. Nina, we're done for good. In that moment, Nina felt like the world was spinning. She uncontrollably collapsed onto the couch. Her world was falling apart, crashing from the edges to the center. All the what-ifs finally turned into reality and struck her heart with a hard blow. Nina couldn't feel anything, but she forced herself to keep reading. If nothing unexpected happens, we won't see each other again in this lifetime. My birthday wish is to stay away from you forever. You don't need to keep your promises to me. I've waited long enough and I don't want them. The more she read, the more blurred her vision became. Memories of 20 whole years floated into her mind like a whirlwind. Precious yet cheap, those memories replayed like a film reel. They'd played house on park benches as kids, both dreaming of amusement parks. Every time they saw a Ferris wheel, their eyes lit up with excitement. She had promised William that when they grew up, she'd take him on the Ferris wheel. But he left and she never kept that promise. The words William left behind became more and more brief, and more cold. At the end of the letter, there were just a few short sentences. Nina, let's end it on good terms. I don't want to love you anymore. William. Her gaze reached the blank space at the end. The sudden break felt like a cut-off oxygen supply. Nina gasped, and finally the tears flowed freely. Under the breakup letter, there were the assets William left her. His entire savings from work, a total of $1 million, along with the apartment he got from the company. All intact. Every promise he made to give her a good life, he kept them. But she hurt him so deeply. William, I don't want these things. Nina stood up, threw the documents aside. The shock made her lose her ability to think. She could only keep searching for William's whereabouts again and again, day after day. She went to the police station, to William's company, but found nothing. On the brink of collapse while passing by a mall, she had a realization. Mike helped William buy so many things there. He must know something. She rushed to the KTV, asked the receptionist for Mike's contact info. Hi, I'm William's girlfriend. After a while, there was a mocking laugh on the other side. Girlfriend? Never heard of William having a girlfriend. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Nina quickly tried to stop him. Wait, I want to ask where William went, but before she could finish speaking, Mike's angry voice cut in. What's with all this drama? Go hang out with your sleazy boy toy. Why are you clinging to William? You're making him sick. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Nina was in tears. Saying sorry now, what's the point? What about before? The kid's already dead and now you're sorry. Buzz off. Don't bother William anymore. After getting blocked by Mike, she stubbornly searched for other contacts, calling them one by one. Each response was the same. Telling her to leave him alone, then blocking her. When she got to the last number, Nina had lost hope. If she couldn't find a lead, she'd never see William again. After half an hour of pleading, William's last friend finally caved. Give it up, William's in Germany now, you won't find him. Germany. Germany. It was like she'd found a lifeline. She started searching through her phone like crazy. Finally, she found some clues about Germany. 2 years ago, he was about to be sent there for work. She couldn't bear to let him go, so she made him fly back to be with her. Now she realized. The project he was in charge of? It was an international collaboration worth billions with a famous car brand, and he was about to be named executive. He'd given up all that. Thinking of her actions, Nina was overwhelmed with guilt. She rushed to the airport in a frenzy. Time zone. GMT+1, Germany. Winter in Berlin hadn't changed much. The outskirts remained as gray and cold as ever. His company gave him an apartment and a German assistant named Amanda. You know, we all have to get used to things eventually. Amanda comforted him. When I first arrived, it felt weird too. Give it some time, you'll adjust. Once the project is done, you'll move up to VP. Keep pushing. William nodded. This collaboration was important on an international scale. The new engine development had reached the G3 phase. If he could fix the power issues, they could start production in 6 months. All he could think about was engines, even when saying goodbye. Whoosh! The bus carrying Amanda left. Once the steam faded away, a slender figure started approaching him. Huh? William was puzzled. When he made out who it was, he felt a small ripple of emotion, but it quickly smoothed over. Nina looked worn out. Her hair and face were messy, and she wore just a thin jacket. Somehow, she'd managed to find him all alone in this foreign place. William. Her eyes were full of excitement, her voice hoarse. I'm so sorry. William didn't move. Hands in his pockets, he just stood there, watching quietly. I'm sorry, William. I was wrong. She took a few steps forward, ready to embrace him, but stopped suddenly. She was afraid, cautiously watching his reaction. William still didn't move. His gaze was completely still, like a dead calm lake. What do you want? He spoke with the kind of cleanliness reserved for strangers. I came to apologize. Before Nina could finish her sentence, he turned around and walked away. She followed him, feeling her heart race wildly. The two of them walked one behind the other, just like they had on the way home in the past. Except back then, he'd warm her cold hands with his chest and drape his jacket over her. In a moment, William walked into a restaurant, and Nina followed silently, like a chastened kid. To her surprise, he ordered 2 veal steaks. William passed the plate over without even glancing at her. Once we're done eating, you should head back. Nina paused, then pleaded, William, we've known each other for 20 years. I really can't live without you. We're broken up, he replied flatly. Still not giving up, she said. Even if we broke up, we can get back together. I know I've made many mistakes. Just give me another chance, please. William cut his steak in half. Give me a reason. A reason. Nina froze. It hit her that she didn't have a valid reason. Everything nice they'd shared was based on his love for her. He had given so much and she had nothing to give back. She was silent. He didn't say anything either. After the meal, William left without another word, and Nina didn't follow. She just watched him leave, her eyes reddening as if she'd made up her mind. William, I will repay you double for everything I owe you, Nina resolved in her heart. She realized it wasn't too late to start giving back. From that day on, she followed William everywhere, stubbornly buying him all kinds of gifts. Whether it was his apartment or his office, she was there, waiting at 7 a.m. every morning. His office became a delivery hub. Nina thought her efforts were a way to give back, hoping to win him over. But William never once looked at her. In fact, he got so fed up he started taking a different path home to avoid her. A week went by quickly. Amanda walked into the lab with a gift box, another one from her. Where should I put it? William was in the middle of something important and got interrupted. A flicker of annoyance crossed his eyes. Throw it out. Throw them all out. From now on, put anything she sends straight in the trash. Don't tell me about it anymore. Got it, Amanda nodded thoughtfully. Seeing the missed calls on her phone, she hesitated for a moment before handing it to William. The company number is looking for you. Once on the call, he found out Nina had been detained. Her visa had expired, yet she refused to leave. She'd spent all her money on gifts, having nothing left for the fine or a ticket to return home. William sighed, had the entire lab pause for him, and rushed out. At the detention center, he paid her fines and went through all the paperwork to sort it out. Watching his busy figure from behind the glass, Nina felt warmth envelop her. Suddenly, a sense of happiness she had never known before washed over her. Like those days when he used to make her hot breakfasts every morning. Maybe William still cared about her. If she just held on, surely she'd win him back one day. Nina fixed her gaze on William's figure, not daring to look away, afraid he'd vanish the second she blinked. When all the processes were done, William didn't shy away from her. He simply sat quietly in a chair. Seeing this, Nina almost jumped for joy, approaching him to hug him. You finally came to get me. But a second later, she was pushed away. Stay away from me. For the first time, William's face showed disgust and anger. She was taken aback. What's wrong? William? Didn't you forgive me? Forgive you? How am I supposed to forgive you? Do you know how much work I've missed because of this nonsense? I've worked so hard to get this far, and you want to ruin it all? William pulled her close by the collar. Ask your conscience. I gave you a whole 20 years. What more do you want from me? What more? Seeing him on the verge of a breakdown, Nina was frightened and helpless. In all their years together, she had never seen him like this. It was as if all his pent-up resentment had erupted at once. He was still wearing his sterile lab coat, with dark circles under his eyes from sleepless nights. Seeing this, she finally realized how much he had suffered. I didn't mean it, William. I'm so sorry. Do you think sorry is enough? William pushed her away, tears welling in his eyes. Only he knew that she did these things more out of guilt than genuine care. She never put herself in his shoes. Nina, don't be so selfish. I didn't come to solve your problems. I came to send you back. From now on, stay out of my sight. You're really annoying. Hearing this, Nina felt crushed. She still didn't understand why things kept getting worse. William's words and actions were like knives cutting deep into her heart. But instead of feeling sad, she was filled with guilt, wishing she could make up for it with her life. After all, today's mess was of her own making. You really don't want me anymore? William left her a ticket and disappeared into the dim morning light without looking back. William doesn't want me anymore. He really doesn't. Nina wanted to run after him, but his words stopped her. Disheartened, she returned home. She had messed up too much. If she didn't listen now, she'd have no chance left. The breakup sent her spiraling. She couldn't sleep well for half a month. At least before, she'd get to see him. Now she could only look at photos, longing for him. She turned to prayers and fortune-telling, seeking ways to win back his heart. Desperate to know about William, she visited Mike every so often. You again? Aren't you tired of this? Mike had just gotten off work, only to find her waiting by his car. Please, can you put in a good word for me with William? You're the only one who can help. Seeing her disheveled look, he just let out a cold laugh. Haven't we helped you enough? William gave you so many chances. When did you ever appreciate them? His words made Nina realize how oblivious she'd been. Each time she went home, she'd discover more missing from her life. If she had defended William just once, maybe he wouldn't be feeling so hopeless. William, at the end of the day, is a man with feelings too. He wanted her to choose him decisively, you know? Feeling trapped in that car must have been a crushing moment. What's wrong? Why can't you speak? Mike, pointing at her, angrily said, Do you know why you missed these details? Because you're too busy being cozy with that pretty boy to care about William. Now that you've lost him, it finally hurts. Huh? You're pretty good at acting, aren't you? Nina shook her head, feeling a bit panicked. No, it's not like that. Victor is just my junior. Still arguing? Mike yelled furiously. You left William for a junior, risked it all for him, even changed your major for him. You like him so much, why don't you just go with him and leave William alone? Someone like you, who keeps playing both sides. It's a wonder William hasn't slapped you. Be thankful for that. Nina felt a shock go through her heart. Only when standing in William's shoes did she realize just how wrong she had been. She stayed silent, waiting until Mike was done yelling. Finally, she spoke up. Have William take me off the blacklist. I need to make one last call. To help his buddy get free from her, Mike agreed. Meanwhile, William had just finished his work and was taking a sip of tea. Seeing Mike repeatedly assuring him, he decided to unblock Nina. 1 minute. He spoke calmly. Yeah. Nina, not wanting to waste time, started apologizing from an earlier birthday, not missing a single thing. Toward the end, she spoke with unwavering determination. William, I understand if you can't forgive me right now, but wait for me. I'll clean things up with Victor and won't let you down again. She still believed that William's feelings changed because of Victor. As long as she broke it off clean with Victor, they could go back to what they were. But William, holding the phone, sank into silence, because just after he unblacklisted her, he saw all of Nina's messages. Over 999 plus, apologies and memories. Just looking at them felt overwhelming. William didn't know what to say. Feeling a mix of emotions, he glanced towards a corner of his room. There was the expensive Canada Goose jacket she gave him, worth thousands. Too good to toss, it became the only thing he kept. But he hadn't worn it yet. He thought of telling Nina, It's done. There's no going back for them. Then a voice came through the line. Time's up. Just as the call ended, William finally spoke. He wasn't sure if she heard it though. The tea in his hands had gone cold, and so had everything else. The winter wind blew by the window, reaching M-City, and blew in the graduation season. Nina had to go back to school to prep for things. As soon as she arrived, Victor approached. Nina, guess what? My thesis got published and it's got some buzz. Nina just replied calmly, oh. She handed over a prepared bag. Here's your stuff back. Take it. Victor paused, a flicker of panic crossing his mind. He had heard Nina was missing for half a month, rumored to be looking for William, and now this sudden move. Could it be? What's this about? You can't just return gifts. Victor forced a smile. Nina shoved it into his hands. Did I do something wrong, Nina? Victor quickly asked. If there's a problem, tell me, I'll fix it. Seeing Nina turn to leave, he rushed to follow. Nina, at least tell me why. Hearing the word why, Nina got really frustrated. You want to know why? It's because of your meddling that got me dumped by my boyfriend of 20 years. There's your why. Her words oddly excited Victor. Split from William? Now's my shot, he thought. She's just sad from the breakup. I can swoop in. Women are easy to win over when they're vulnerable. It was a formula Victor knew well, so he immediately began comforting her. Nina, I know you've been down lately, but things will pass. Don't be sad. I'm here for you. Let's go see a movie, maybe dinner? But Nina just gave him a look. Don't come looking for me again. Do what you need to do. Victor finally panicked hearing that. It was clear now, she had no interest in him. She only ever wanted William. Please don't leave me. You promised to take care of me. Treat me like a brother. What's so great about William? Tell me. I'll learn. Victor held onto Nina tightly. She was annoyed and shook him off. At this point, a grown man hoping for her affection was just pathetic. Let go or I'll call it harassment. She'd considered Victor's kindness and chosen to end it quietly. But his clinging only bred disgust. The more he held on, the more William came to mind. Victor finally let go, tears marking his face with unwillingness. He gritted his teeth, a thought brewing. In a flash, 6 months sped by. Berlin had welcomed spring, with maritime breezes bringing warmth. William wrapped up the last of his work. His phone chimed with a message from Nina, checking in. To not bother him, she'd send one message after work each day and never more. When will you be back? I miss you so much. William habitually swiped away the message. Amanda came over with a big smile. What are you looking at? Show me. Just some spam messages. Okay. Are you coming to the party tonight? Amanda patted his shoulder gently. It's a celebration Nick's throwing since the project is over. Of course I'll go. Why wouldn't I? At the party. Both of them sipped on their drinks. Looking at the deep blue Berlin sky, they softly clinked glasses. It's been tough lately. I'm hard to get along with, aren't I? Not at all. I actually like your personality. Amanda mumbled while looking at the sky. They say you're pretty composed, but I find it to be a unique charm, just like this city. You really know how to talk. William chuckled. What's your plan for the future? I'll keep being your assistant. Once I'm permanent, I can get residency and stay in Germany. Amanda looked at him, her eyes sparkling. She had felt lonely for so long while studying abroad. But when William arrived, she found someone to admire and drive her ambitions. Just then, Nick slowly approached them. After exchanging some pleasantries, he got straight to the point. William, we couldn't have done it without you. But there's something I need to tell you. Go ahead. There's been a change in company plans. We intended for you to be the VP here, but headquarters is uneasy. Someone with your skill set is better off at home base. William furrowed his brows. What do you mean by that? I intend to transfer you back and also promote you to VP. Nick patted his shoulder. Rest assured, all your benefits here will match over there. A $3 million salary with $1 million project bonuses. You'll also get a stake in company decisions and shares. William was quiet for a moment. Money had never mattered much to him, but he finally nodded. All right then. After Nick left, William got quiet for a long time. Amanda's expression also shifted. Her smile faded. Feeling lost suddenly? Yeah. Your stuff with her isn't that important. The more seriously you take things, the harder they are to let go. Amanda swirled her drink, her face reflecting the light. William thought about it, it made sense. She seemed to understand him well. Always said the right thing. Then I guess I'll head back home tomorrow. I'll make sure they take good care of you. Amanda turned her head away. Even though she didn't want him to leave, she kept her feelings hidden. If she confessed to someone like William, it would probably go nowhere. No need to bother. I wouldn't stay at the company anyway if you're gone. We'll see. William seemed to catch on. Take care. Let's work together again if we get the chance. Sure. The next day, the plane landed at M City Airport. William stepped back onto this land after 6 months. A few friends booked a fancy restaurant. They planned a welcome-back feast. Hey, isn't this William? Finally back to hang out with us. 6 months away and you look younger. Of course, he's younger. It was freezing there. As soon as they stepped into the restaurant, the atmosphere turned cheerful. William couldn't help but smile. But that smile vanished when he spotted a familiar figure at the door. Nina looked stunning today, but her dark circles couldn't be hidden. She glanced around and finally spotted William and his friends. Months of missing him poured out, her voice trembling. "William, you're finally back to see me? Is this woman stalking us?" Mike frowned, leading everyone to their private room. Nina followed closely, grabbing William as she approached. "William, why didn't you tell me you were back? You look skinnier. Let me cook for you." William brushed her hand off, speaking calmly. "What's it to you?" Even though he was cold, she kept smiling, undaunted. Mike couldn't keep her out, so they let her in. Nina was thrilled, feeling acknowledged. "William, I've been studying aerospace materials seriously for the past half-month, so I could work like you someday. How long are you back for this time? Are you staying for good?" "I broke up with Victor for good. Come on, talk to me." But just then, Victor walked in, excitedly holding on to Nina. "Nina, I got an interview invite." Ever since Nina dumped him, he's been trying to change and even applied to work at William's company, Stir Group. He tried to become more like William, hoping she'd take him back. "Why are you here? Didn't I say we're done? Get out." Nina turned her head, her face darkening. She had just gotten close to William again. Victor messing things up would ruin it all. But William couldn't care less. He barely even looked. Love and hate had nothing to do with him. Mike planned to toss them out, but William waved it off. "Let them stay, let's just eat together." After everything he'd been through, he was past all the drama. As a grown man, kicking people out over this would be embarrassing. So they sat down together. Nina purposely sat close to William. She kept talking to him and serving him food. Meanwhile, Victor was left ignored on the side. It was just like their goodbye party before roles reversed. After the gathering ended, William and his friends stood to leave, Nina not far behind. Victor tried to pull her aside to talk, but she shook him off. "Back off." He stood there helplessly, watching them walk away, feeling resentful. Why does William come back and wreck things when I've tried so hard? When he got back, he sent Nina a bunch of messages. Weirdly enough, she was super nice. Nothing like how she'd been earlier. She even asked for all sorts of info about STER, ready for an interview the next day. Victor was thrilled. He thought she wanted to work with him. After all, why would she switch majors for him if she didn't want to stick around? He handed over the info with zero hesitation. Hope reignited within him. The next morning, Nina showed up at the company's front entrance, back to her calm self. They headed to the meeting room together, waiting for the interviewer. Victor helped her get her stuff in order and gave her some tips. While he dreamed of the future, William strolled in, decked out in a gray suit, leading them in. "Hello. I'm the VP of STER Group and your interviewer today." William stood tall and imposing, the suit amplifying his mature aura. But looking at them, he showed almost no emotion. He was there because he was hands-on, not wanting to miss out on talent. But to Nina, it seemed like the interview was just for her. "William, is that you? You're back as VP? Guess you're here to stay?" Her eyes welled with tears. Under the bright window light, he seemed larger than life and out of reach. She remembered how she'd fallen for his precision and dedication. Victor's face darkened. Seeing Nina's admiration, he finally got it. She was there for William, not him. Turns out William was sticking around as the VP. Crushed his hopes all over again. The interview got going. William ignored Nina, sticking to the process. The other two interviewers seemed ready to reject them. But William kept it fair and hired them both for a trial period. Nina was almost in tears with excitement. If she could stick around, she'd have daily reasons to see William. Due to her lack of expertise, she got placed in a support role. Her aim? Work her way up to be William's secretary. Then she'd have more chances. "William, can I get you a cup?" Watching Nina eagerly assisting and trailing behind William, Victor felt his heart sink to the bottom. William was blindingly bright, young, and already a chief designer and VP. Victor was just an intern. No way he could win Nina's heart like this. Despair hit him, soon replaced by jealousy and resentment. He had to sabotage them, hoping to ruin William's rep. Elsewhere, Nina was glued to William's side until they reached his office. Noticing there was no secretary, she was thrilled. Anything else? As he was about to close the door, she whipped out a pair of rings. These are a gift from me to you. Seeing the intricately designed rings, William was yanked back to 2 years ago. Back when he eyed these engagement rings worth tens of thousands, working hard to buy them for their engagement. But she kept stalling, saying to wait until graduation. He once pushed for an engagement. She bailed. Now she was chasing him to marry. It was kind of laughable. William barely glanced. Why? I don't need them. I saved up for half a year to buy these. Nina cautiously said, Thanks for your help. It's a token of my appreciation. You should take them. You're overthinking. I'm just doing my job. William took 2 steps back and, from now on, call me by my title. Bang! The door shut firmly, leaving Nina shut out. Her version of sincerity meant nothing to William. She realized she'd really broken his heart. Her attempts to mend things were worthless now. For the next 2 weeks, the company saw theater like drama daily. Soon everyone was gossiping, hearing the chatter gnawed at Victor's insides. After working overtime for half a month, he finally got into the lab for project research. This time, he wouldn't let William off easy. As a key technical lead, William personally managed a new engine development project. In just a month, the project reached a critical handover stage. And with newfound access, Victor planted a virus in the control console. While Nina was out of the monitoring room, he even wiped the footage. Everyone was busy with the final touches, clueless about this. The handover day came quickly. In the huge exhibition room, William was showing off the latest tech to Arabian clients. They were impressed, about ready to put down a deposit. But as it powered up, something went wrong. Boom! The engine suddenly went haywire, crashing toward the crowd, ultimately wrecking itself. Within 5 minutes of the accident, everyone involved was summoned to the meeting room. Bang! What's the deal? This was nearly catastrophic. Nick's face turned stormy. The clients are disappointed, and we took a hit of billions. Who's in charge here? They're accountable. Then, the big wigs with grudges against William piled on the blame. Wasn't this William's project? Isn't he supposed to be a star player? Screwing up on a basic level like this, maybe it's time for a change. He's not the only one. The whole department should face the music. Nick frowned, shocked that someone like William, known for excellence, would mess up so badly. Even though he wanted to back William, he had to show some attitude in front of everyone now. Victor was secretly pleased, but William stood up calmly. I have all the experiment process records. I can prove every step was fine. I think someone did this on purpose. Nina also stood up. I can vouch for William. I think we should investigate before blaming anyone. The interns involved in the project were initially afraid to confront the execs. Hearing her words, they gathered courage to speak up for William. Faced with this, the execs didn't want to make a scene. Nick was glad for an out and jumped on it. All right, I'll request one more chance. You have 5 days to deliver the project perfectly, or the punishment stands. Watching William avoid punishment and hearing Nina speak for him, the expression on Victor's face disappeared entirely. Why? Why could he never beat William? Why did Nina trust and favor him so much? He saw a chance to finally kick him out and couldn't let it slip away. Soon, Victor thought of a way to hit 2 birds with 1 stone, unconsciously grinning. In the VP's office, Nina was busy preparing materials. William walked in with a stern look on his face. What are you doing in my office? I wanted to help you investigate this. Don't worry, William. I'll catch the person who set you up. Get out. William knocked on the table coldly. The videos from the monitoring room were deleted. If you weren't constantly hanging around here, how would you neglect your duties and give others a chance? Can you do your own job? If this happens again, you're out. He sat in his chair, staring out the window for a long time. He never should have let her in. Nina stood there dumbfounded, then left dejectedly. She always messed things up but couldn't help wanting to do more for him. The misunderstandings kept growing deeper. She had to help William catch the culprit soon, or he'd hate her forever. Due to the previous engine damage, William had to work overtime to make a new one. Others offered to help, but he refused. He didn't want to trust anyone this time. He chose to work alone. For 5 whole days, William was in the lab working tirelessly. This gave Victor an opportunity. Every time William stayed up late working, Victor secretly lowered the air conditioning to the lowest setting. Already weak, William soon developed a high fever. But he still stuck to his work, knowing this was a tough battle since he returned to his home country. If he lost, he might have no future here. He always carried the burden alone. Then and now. By the time of the second delivery, William checked everything repeatedly before daring to present. Nick managed to win back some clients with a 10% discount, but they were still hesitant. William spoke up to make up for the last mishap. I'm presenting a second-gen upgraded version. Power and sound have been greatly improved. I also solemnly promise to resign immediately if there's any quality issue. Hearing his confidence, the clients hesitated but decided to give it a try. The next moment, whoosh, the engine and testing instruments appeared. The wild stats left everyone in awe. This engine wasn't just fast, it was also much quieter than before. The execs, seeing his true ability, were at a loss for words. The clients, excited, placed doubled orders on the spot. While the whole company celebrated, William collapsed from his fever. William, Nina rushed over, and with everyone's help, got him to the hospital. The doctor said William's condition was bad due to prolonged labor, his immunity dropped, and the fever wouldn't break anytime soon. 2 days later, Nina was anxiously racking her brain in the monitoring room, trying to figure out how to help William recover quickly. Victor showed up with a fragrant chicken soup in hand. Nina, you haven't eaten in days. You should take care of yourself. Take it away, I'm not eating. Nina glanced at him impatiently. Victor seized the chance. Come on, this chicken soup is made from my family's secret recipe. A bowl of it can cure all ailments. Have some while it's hot. Hearing this, Nina finally lifted her head. It cures all ailments? Give me the recipe. Her mind was entirely on William now. He was so weak, he definitely needed something to build him up. In the evening, after work, Nina rushed to the hospital with chicken soup she'd made herself for hours using the best ingredients and herbs. Stop. Outside, Mike put out his cigarette. Why are you here? William doesn't want to see you. It's fine, just give him this chicken soup. He looks too weak. Mike intended to refuse, but realizing William hadn't had anything good to eat in days, he took the soup in. Nina stood dumbfounded outside, waiting for William to compliment her cooking. But Mike quickly rushed out. Nurse, nurse, my buddy's vomiting. Get over here. A few nurses rushed in. After checking, they found it was an allergic reaction. Mike dumped out the soup and spotted the culprit. He furiously grabbed Nina by the collar. Don't you know William's allergic to goji berries? Are you trying to kill him? What? Allergic to goji berries? Nina was stunned, looking at the pile of goji berries in the trash, dumbfounded. I thought it would help. You think you're being thoughtful? Mike laughed angrily. You've known him for 20 years. Have you ever truly cared about him? Even if you only made soup once, you'd know he's allergic to goji berries. Even I know that, but somehow you don't. Nina's face turned pale as she was being questioned. It felt like she was on fire, with pain piercing into her heart. She finally understood why she always ended up making things worse, despite having good intentions. It's because she never truly cared about William. He knew she didn't eat cilantro or seafood and paid attention every time they ate. But she didn't truly know him and almost harmed him. I'm sorry, William. Nina burst into tears. She finally knew where she went wrong. Helpless and scared, she kept apologizing. The patient's condition wasn't looking good. Spasms had already started. Quick, get the oxygen. The nurse urged them to leave, her eyebrows furrowed. For half an hour, Mike cursed with every bad word he knew, and Nina felt like she was going to break. She knelt in repentance outside the door, not moving an inch. It was lucky he didn't eat it. If he had, it could have led to an allergic shock. The nurse came out, glanced at Nina. Don't give patients food if you don't know them well. You're responsible if something goes wrong. Nina nodded repeatedly. She rushed back into the room, kneeling before William. His face had some rashes, and he was staring at the ceiling. Mike sighed. He didn't have the energy to scold Nina anymore. They were waiting for William to decide. "I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize to me." William mumbled. "This is my fate." "Don't say that. I wasn't good before. I've been reflecting every day for the past 6 months. I'm a jerk, a fool, and I've let you down." Nina slapped herself twice as tears streamed down. "William, you can hit me or scold me, whatever you choose. I'm willing to make it up to you for the rest of my life." William was silent for a few seconds. "I don't need that. Leaving me is the best way you can make it up." Dim lights struggled in the darkness. Nina knelt for 10 more minutes, then reluctantly stood up. If he wanted her to leave, she had no choice. From that day on, people at the company talked. Nina stopped running to the VP's office or bringing gifts and started working seriously. But no one knew that every time she passed the office, she'd unavoidably glance inside. Back in the surveillance room, she'd watch the footage over and over, from sunrise to sunset. One day, Nina approached Victor's workspace. "Nina, what's going on?" Victor was thrilled, thinking his plan had finally succeeded. She was finally reaching out to him. "You finally came around, Nina. No matter what others say, I'll always love you." He gave her a gaze full of emotion, but it got no response. Nina opened his drawer and found a black USB drive with precision. "Victor, do you have anything to say?" Her voice was cold, shaky with anger. Victor's face changed. "I don't understand what you mean. I found this USB drive by coincidence. I haven't looked at its contents. I've watched a month of surveillance footage. I know every detail." Nina was determined to find the real culprit, reviewing the security footage multiple times a day. There wasn't direct evidence of Victor messing with the control panel, but other footage showed him sneakily holding the USB. As expected, there was definitely something wrong with that drive. No matter how Victor argued, when the USB was found to contain a virus, he was caught. "Nina, please don't," he pleaded desperately. "If you tell on me, my life is ruined. When you harmed William, did you ever think about this day?" Nina was shaking with anger, wanting to tear Victor apart. "I didn't mean it. I only meant to download files from the USB. I didn't know there was a virus." Victor quickly switched to a pitiful state, knocking his head on the ground until he bled. Seeing him so pathetic, Nina couldn't help but feel moved. It reminded her of her own humility before William. After spending so much time together, she started to think that maybe Victor wasn't as malicious as he seemed. Seeing her hesitation, Victor laughed inside. She was still wrapped around his finger. She definitely had feelings for him. "My dear sister, you know I'm not that kind of person." His tears flowed. "I never blamed William. I know this is all my fault, so I've been doing my best to make it up to you both." Nina finally softened. But the next moment, she noticed a health report on Victor's desk. The name on it was glaringly Williams. "What are you doing with his health report?" Victor didn't have time to explain, just watching as the report was taken away. Nina froze. This single page was filled with red mark data, low immunity, 5 allergens, including goji berries from that day. Only now did she understand everything. "Victor, you're despicable." Slap. Victor's face stung. His smugness vanished into fear. "Nina, I know I was wrong," he begged. "Please don't expose me. I'll do anything to apologize to William. Get out of here." Nina's eyes were red, her voice hoarse. If she hadn't been involved with Victor, this wouldn't have happened. Thinking of William's pale face on the hospital bed brought a dull ache to her heart. "Victor, I'll never forgive you. From today, don't ever show your face around me again." Nina slammed the report into Victor's face and stormed towards the CEO's office. An hour later, the whole company had been notified, and police came to investigate. Victor's actions not only breached company policy but were illegal, leading to a lawsuit. His belongings were thrown out, leaving him slumped on the ground in utter despair. "I just wanted to win Nina back. What did I do wrong? Love, work, life, worked hard for 20 years, and now I have nothing. Colleagues give me looks of disgust and disdain. Meanwhile, William got promoted and a raise, admired by everyone. The stark contrast twisted something in my mind. William, it's all because of you. I won't let you get away with this. Absolutely not. After I got taken away for investigation, the whole company returned to its usual calm. Nina got a commendation because of this, giving her a chance for a permanent position. Nick even let her pick a promotion role. So, do you want to go to the marketing department or the management department? Just as the day was about to end, Nick suddenly called Nina to his office. Both the marketing and management departments suit you. If you're willing, I'll transfer you right away. Nina hesitated. Could I be a secretary? A secretary? That's more of a clerical job. Whose secretary do you want to be? Nick asked, a bit confused. William's. Not possible, he already has a secretary. Nina stopped in her tracks. You didn't know? A new girl came today. She already interned, so she got directly employed. In the parking garage. Let me give you a ride. It's tough to catch the subway from here, William said to Amanda. So, why'd you come back all of a sudden? Finished my courses, Amanda said playfully, sticking out her tongue. Why, don't you want me back? Am I really that annoying? Of course not. William gave her a gentle pinch on the cheek, always putting words in my mouth. Let's go. Just as they got into the car, Nina appeared. She was shocked to see Amanda in the passenger seat and nervously asked William, who is she? Before he could answer, Amanda flashed a gentle smile and leaned into William's arms. Hi, I'm William's secretary and his girlfriend. Is there something you need? Seeing this younger, prettier girl made Nina wild with jealousy. She thought there was still a chance, but now everything was over. She finally understood the pain and helplessness William felt, magnified 100-fold within her. William, she's lying, right? She just got here. Nina forced a smile. Just say it, answer if it's true or not. I haven't bothered you these past days. I just want to quietly work for you. Please just tell me the truth. William held the steering wheel, his eyes calm as ever. Even if it wasn't the truth, he didn't want to go back to that past life. I've started dating her. Amanda added, we met in Germany. Nina, do you have any other questions? No, Nina replied, shaking her head, already filled with despair. She could only watch the car drive away, trying to maintain her dignity in front of another woman. In the car. Have you always had to deal with this since you got back? Amanda asked thoughtfully. Pretty much. She's really persistent. Seems like she can't let go. Amanda probed, do you still have feelings for her? William shook his head. I don't know why everyone keeps asking me that. If you can fall for someone, you can fall out of love too. There's nothing unforgettable in this world. If there is, it just means not enough time has passed. True. Amanda giggled, so, will you treat me to a meal as a reward? It's not typical for a VP to treat a secretary, but since you've helped, I'll make an exception. Yay! Amanda cheered, joyfully enjoying the scenery outside. She had rushed her course to come back sooner and was glad William hadn't gotten back with Nina. Her little secret was obvious. William knew all along and left the secretary spot open just for her. Still, he wasn't ready to respond to these feelings. He was always serious and responsible and didn't want to be a flip-flopper like some people. In the restaurant, Amanda was digging in, barely stopping to breathe. After being abroad for so long, she was crazy for Chinese food. Watching this unabashed girl, William couldn't help but laugh. Whenever he was with her, he felt particularly relaxed. Hey, can I ask you a question? Amanda said, wiping her mouth. What kind of wife do you plan to find? William didn't answer and instead asked, what kind of husband do you want? Someone like you, Amanda replied with a smile, her face blushing. As the evening sun set, this girl brought out a strange feeling in him. She slowly breathed life back into his long dormant emotions. In the days that followed, the two grew closer, no longer avoiding each other. And Nina saw it all. She had once hoped against hope, but as things unfolded, William slipped further away from her. Still, she never confronted William, just swallowed her pain. One night, William returned home, to his new place. How Nina found it, he didn't know. "William, can you come home with me?" Her eyes were red, and she looked like she'd been drinking. "I am home. Do you need something?" "This isn't our home. Our home was the apartment by the ring road. Did you forget?" She reached for his hand. "Remember when we bought the place and chose furniture together?" "Enough," William shook her off. "What do you want, Nina? Does any of this still matter?" "William, I just miss you so much." Nina cried, tears unstoppable. "It's so empty. I'm so cold. I'm going crazy without you. Please just spend a day with me, okay? If I stay just one more day, I'll leave you for good and won't interfere in your life anymore." William sighed and said to her with a serious look on his face, "Nina, I have a girlfriend now. What you're doing is harassment, you know. You've already ruined one relationship. Don't come and wreck my second one too." After saying that, he turned and walked away. Nina was clearly drunk. Watching William walk away, she felt like he was leaving her forever. She rushed forward and hugged his leg. "I'm begging you, William, please fulfill this one wish of mine. You promised to love me forever. I'm really in pain." "Enough already," William snapped, finally losing his patience, shouting at her. "Is the whole world just about your pain? When are you going to grow up and mature? We're done." Even if you asked me 1,000 or 10,000 times, my answer would be the same. Even if I had to spend my life with a dog, I, William, would never choose you. His hurtful words pierced Nina like icy daggers, and as the cold wind blew over, it sobered her up and crushed her spirit. William broke free and continued walking towards the neighborhood exit. But right then, a figure suddenly jumped out from the bushes. "William, I'm going to take you down with me." Victor, looking ragged, charged with a knife. William, caught off guard, was tackled to the ground and struggled desperately. "I've lost everything. If I'm going to jail anyway, I'll take you with me." Victor laughed maniacally, getting ready to plunge the knife into William's heart. Nina, in a frenzy, charged and pulled Victor from behind. "William, run. Help, there's a killer. All you care about is William." Victor, angered, flipped Nina to the ground. "Since you love him so much, go to hell with him." "Nina," was all William managed to yell as he saw flashes of red spray out. Security guards rushed over, tackled Victor, and called the cops. They carried Nina into an ambulance. Until she was wheeled into the operating room, William was in a daze. "William, I'm so glad you're okay," Nina said weakly. "Don't speak." He yelled at her, fighting back tears upon seeing how pale she was. "Even if I died, I'd accept it. I owe you this lifetime. I'm sorry for the trouble I've caused. I just wanted to win you back. Wanted you to love me again." Nina forced a smile despite the blood rushing out. Her injuries were severe. The whole hospital jumped into action. After 3 hours of intense surgery, the doctor came out looking grim. "Doctor, how is she?" "The situation is grim. We're running low on blood. Be prepared for the worst," the doctor said, leaving William with a sinking feeling. He never imagined it would come to this. Despite everything Nina had done, she was still alive. Memories from their past flooded back, and he couldn't help but tear up, not for Nina, but for what they once had. Life's so complicated. Mike sighed and said, "How should I judge her? The world isn't black and white. It's just shades of gray. No one is absolutely right or wrong, so do your part and don't blame yourself too much." William nodded, thinking to himself. Had he agreed to spend that last day with Nina, could they have parted amicably? Just then, a group of doctors rushed in with a large bag of fresh blood supplies. "This is from the neighboring hospital. Quick, get it to the patient." A glimmer of hope returned to everyone. After another 2 hours, the doctors managed to pull Nina back from the brink. William, feeling relief, sank back into his chair. Following that, he went to the station for a statement, and when Victor pleaded for forgiveness, William slapped him several times right then and there. With Victor sentenced to death, William returned to care for Nina in the hospital, staying up for days on end. Amanda, upon learning the situation, came by to help as well. She knew William wasn't driven by love, but simply didn't want any lingering debts. This way, Nina could truly move on. After her near-death experience, she seemed different. She no longer clung to William or spoke much, simply watching him change her bandages in silence. She said she found her life's meaning, that she'd figured everything out and was letting go. For months flew by. Nina was fully recovered and discharged. The first thing she did was submit her resignation. "Nina, we've spoken with the company. Under the circumstances, you can stay on," Amanda tried to persuade, but Nina simply smiled. "No worries. This is a personal decision. Have William sign it." Inside the office, William hesitated briefly before signing. Amanda pat his shoulder, encouraging, "Go on. Say goodbye properly." He told Amanda months ago he might spend a day with Nina to close things. Driving in the car, William asked, "Where to?" "Let's go to the amusement park." Surprised for a moment, he drove off. The amusement park, though old, was as bustling as ever. "Thanks for taking care of me all this time. I already owed you. Now I can never repay you," Nina said. "No," William shook his head. "The moment you saved me, we were even. Live your life well. Don't carry this burden. It's pointless." "You're right," Nina said, "but I didn't expect you to agree to spend the day with me." Looking at the lively scene, she added, "All those warm times we shared, they've now turned into mere luxuries. Stories always have an ending." William was about to pull out a cigarette but decided against it. They had spent the whole day together, like old times, eating from food stalls and buying hair clips. He got everything she liked to eat. She dressed up in front of the mirror while he quietly watched from a bench. Just as the sun was about to set, Nina spoke up. "You always wanted to ride the Ferris wheel, right? This time it's on me." "Sure," William replied. They boarded the old Ferris wheel. It was a place they dreamed of for a long time, and they finally made it happen. But the thing about feelings is, they aren't like a Ferris wheel. There's no going back for another ride. They'd been through so much. Yet they sat in silence for a good while, saying nothing. Eventually, Nina spoke first. "You really haven't changed a bit in 20 years. Back when I first moved to your neighborhood, you were building rockets in the sand, completely ignoring me. My mom said your personality was just like that, and told me not to hang out with you too much, it might lower my IQ." "Really?" William chuckled lightly, sitting up a little straighter, feeling a bit awkward. "Yet you still spoke to me later." "Why?" "Because it started raining, and I happened to have an umbrella." They shared a look and burst out laughing. As they laughed, Nina suddenly turned her head. Memories flooded back, and she couldn't hold back the tears. William stayed seated, feeling a ripple in his heart. How could he forget the young girl she once was, tagging along everywhere behind him? Sadly, those days are gone, and they won't come back. The ending was certain. Everything else was in vain. Trying to change the mood, William started talking too. They chatted back and forth about everything from elementary school to high school, and then college. They even discussed each other's faults and why their relationship had issues. Seemed like they both had come to terms with it. The Ferris wheel was high, and the wind was strong. Nina's hair blew in the breeze. The sunlight hit her face, making her look beautiful. "William, I still love you." He nodded. "I know. But I've come to terms with things too. This past year taught me a lot. I've grown up now. I'm not that little girl following you around. I need to own up to my mistakes." Nina confessed earnestly as the Ferris wheel turned faster and faster. Because this was her last chance to speak to William. The ride ended, and so did the dream. "I'm moving to a new city and won't bother you again. I wish you all the happiness." Once the ride stopped, they strolled to the gate and parted ways at the corner. William had a lot to say too, but he remained silent. He just watched Nina get on the bus and wave. "William, I'm leaving." "Yeah, take care." In the blink of an eye, the bus disappeared. The mist cleared, and nothing more appeared. Nina didn't stay. She was really gone. The questions, regret, and tension transformed into acceptance, drifting away with the wind. William took a deep breath. It was time for him to start his new life too. Time flew by. Autumn was nearing its end again. During this time, Nina vanished like she evaporated, leaving no trace. William got back on his feet, achieving great success at work, and his relationship with Amanda was blossoming. In no time, it was his birthday again. All those memories, both good and bad, dissolved into nothing as he turned 26. He also planned to marry Amanda on the same day, double the joy. Happy birthday, William, and congratulations on your wedding. The wedding was bustling with excitement. William gave Amanda a kiss, and she responded fervently. At that moment, their wishes finally came true. I gotta say, William's thinking about us, doing the birthday and wedding at the same time, only needs one gift, Mike joked, coaxing laughter from everyone. William laughed. Since you mentioned it, your gift should be twofold, or else you're not joining for drinks tonight. Mike was about to escape when a package was delivered. Is this your second gift? No idea. Who's it from? Everyone was puzzled. When they opened it, they found a cake signed anonymously. Seeing the message, William understood, smiling softly. Happy 25th birthday, William.